Hello, this is John, host of mgtow is Freedom. Tonight we have a very special episode of mgtow at the movies. One of the great action figures, action stars, characters, right? Masculine, manly characters is Indiana Jones, as portrayed by Harrison Ford. No one's perfect. No one. But that is one hell of a role to play. Dominant, aggressive, intelligent, right? Persevering. Dr. Jones is just a great character to be written about. You know, yeah, he's mythical, but very masculine, right? He also makes really cool mistakes that make this story continue. It's such a well done serial, the Indiana Jones saga. But I watched some of them the other day with my sons because we like the adventure, and the soundtrack is really nice in that movie, or the movies. But I noticed when we were watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I started looking at the movie in a way I never have before. You know, I looked at it and I realized that Dr. Ilsa Schneider is a feminist. She is a feminist, though she's not portrayed as one, right? She's portrayed as a Nazi collaborator and a couple other things. So I started looking at her from the eyes of the modern feminist woman, right? From the eyes of a MGTOW, I watched her. So, you know, I came up with a way to examine the movie and see what's going on and say, is this what happened? You know, and then to go, holy cow, you know, it did. So without further ado, let's get into Indiana Jones, right? And mgtow at the movies. I'm going to start with a little theme music for you. Dun 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 dun. Okay, enough of that shit. Indiana MGTOW and the gold digging whore. That's the name of this adventure, right? Because that's really what this movie was about in a lot of ways. It was the adventure of the gold digging whore and how Dr. Jones had to deal with her. So the character we're talking about, this woman, is Dr. Ilsa Schneider, right? And she comes in when Indiana Jones shows up in Venice to take over, or actually he went to find where his dad was, played by the incomparable, mega masculine Sean Connery, right? But he's missing, so he went to find his father. But being Indiana Jones, he gets sucked into the adventure, right? The quest for the Holy Grail, which Dr. Schneider's interested in. Okay, now, she's Austrian, and at this point, no one knows she's a Nazi collaborator, right? But we start learning about her. She's a doctor. So she's educated, but she's dumb. Why do I say dumb? Well, she's been working on this project, and she doesn't know a fucking thing. She contributes nothing at all to the pursuit, to the discovery of new evidence, to figuring out how things work, right? She just stands back and admires Indiana Jones. She stands back, right? And then she gets turned on by it, but she secretly covets what he has and who he is. Very feminist. Educated but dumb? Bam! Very modern. All right? She needs both Dr. Joneses. She starts with the father, right? And then moves on to Henry Jones Jr. or Indiana. She uses them both, and she gives them both sex. She uses them both sexually to win favor. Right? That is a huge feminist technique. Dr. Jones both got sucked in because why? She's a hot piece of ass. Right? Now, here's where we get into Dr. Schneider and what a great feminist she is. Right? She's an opportunist. Right? She gives the Jones boys the death sentence. See, Indiana Jones finds a very important clue, then goes to Austria to rescue his dad. Brings Dr. Schneider with him, right? and then gets him to have to give up this magic diary that has all kinds of Grail secrets, right? It's really juicy storytelling, really a great movie. But she's an opportunist. She gives him the death sentence, and then she takes over the lead role. That's right. Once they get the Grail diary back and they have the clues that Indiana Jones found, Dr. Schneider, right, just leaves them to their death with the Nazis. And then she takes over the lead role. And she gets nowhere. She has no idea what she's doing, but she's supposed to be educated. That sounds to me like a lot of feminists. They get educated. They take over where men were, usually by stabbing them in the back, because they're opportunists. And then they get nowhere. Very, very feminist. Right? So as MGTOW, I'm watching this. And I'm sure you guys have watched a lot of movies and said, geez, from a man MGTOW perspective, you know what's going on, what's going to happen. Right? So in order to get where she was going, she uses the competence of the Doctor's Joan to get her selfish needs and then leaves him to die. Right? She can't do it herself. She has to parasitically attach herself to the Doctor's Joan. First the father, Sean Connery, and then to Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. Because her needs are selfish. She doesn't care about anything but herself. And she doesn't care who has to get hurt and what it takes. She's going to use the legal system, that is the Nazi power in the movie. Just like feminists today use the court system, their legal power, their muscle. She can't do it herself. She needs the muscle of others, the muscle of men, to get what she wants. So she goes back to Berlin. Indiana Jones escapes with his dad and says, I've got to get that book back. So he goes to Berlin and he confronts her. And at the book burning, she acts moral. Right? He says he could kill her and crush her throat, and she says I could scream. I have a funny idea that he could have crushed her throat faster than she could have gotten 2 syllables of scream out. And that'd been done it. Anyways, but she acts like she's got morals. She totally just blows one past Dr. Jones. Right? She didn't sign up for this and that, right? And he gets all mad at her. You signed with those evil bastards, right? She just left him to die in the scene before. Yet here she is acting like she's moral and she's got some high ground to stand on. She left him to die. But that's what feminists do. They act like they're moral all the time while they commit the most heinous acts. Backstabbing and screwing people to get what they want. So they go through the desert. She doesn't know a fucking thing. They get to the magic cave that leads to where the Grail is being kept, right? And she can't get past the booby traps. So once again, Dr. Jones is used to get past the booby traps and figure out how to get in, how to get there. And then she shows up in the chamber where all the Grails are. There's one real one and a bunch of fake ones. So the bad guy of the movie, the lead bad guy, his name is Donovan. He doesn't know anything. And he's got Dr. Jones standing right there. And he says, I don't know which one to choose. So she stands up, right? And she makes the decision. And he's dumb enough. He's kind of like a powerful mangina. Just a fucking idiot. Lets her choose for him. Right? And he dies. Just like real life. When a feminist is given a powerful position and told to make choices, she gets everyone around her hurt. Right? So they leave the cave. Dr. Jones, Indy Jones has to save his dad by taking him some water in the actual correct Grail. And he goes out there and saves his dad, and she picks up the Grail. She's not supposed to cross the seal in the middle of the floor. Right? She won't fucking listen. She was told that if she did that, right, bad things would happen. Once again, feminist gets power. The Grail represents power in her hand. And she won't listen. So what happens? She does what she wants, causes a catastrophe. She dies. She was offered the hand of rescue by Indiana Jones. And she kept reaching for the grail, for the power, because that's what she wanted, because she's selfish. She even tried dragging Indy with her, right? She dies, caused a huge earthquake, the floor splits open, right? She almost kills others. She has no problem risking the lives of others. Okay? That is Dr. Schneider, modern feminist in an Indiana Jones movie. MGTOW at the movies. What can we learn? We can see exactly how women behave, feminist women. We can see how they're being taught through cinema. Why they're being taught. And they refuse to learn from that. All these things she does wrong in the movie, feminists continue to do, even though the movie shows them how it is wrong, how it messes things up. They are still completely selfish. Dr. Ilse Schneider selfishly lives off the experience and dedication, efforts, decades of effort, dedication, and experience. She lived off of that experience of men, right? Just about gets everybody killed, gets herself killed, and that is MGTOW at the movies. Indiana MGTOW and the gold-digging whore. It's a great movie. Great movie, has great lessons in it. Lessons that men should look at and see. Because it doesn't matter how beautiful they are. If you put them in charge, they're going to fuck things up. Right? Women don't belong in charge. It is a rare woman that can be in charge and be successful. What a great movie. Please click subscribe. At the end of the video, there's going to be an icon up here also, a little Viking head. Click that and subscribe if you haven't already. Next to the subscribe button is a little bell down below. Click that and you'll get notifications when I put up new videos. And of course, I always recommend hit the share button right down below. Share this with other men you know, old men, young men, married, single, newly single, divorced, right? MGTOW. It's a marvelous men's empowerment thought process. To say to yourself, I'm going my own way. I'm my own man. Right? To stop doing what women want and trying to satisfy them. To stop looking to women to feel complete, to feel accepted, right? To feel accomplished. You're a man, you make your own way in the world. You have the penis. I have the penis, right? We have balls. We have brains. We have muscles. We're men, right? That's what it is to be MGTOW. To choose your own way. And if it's someone else's way, that's not choosing your own way, but choosing your own way and deciding what's important to you in your life. So again, I want to thank you. And, of course, thumbs up. Give a thumbs up, right? And if you watch this whole video and you want in the comments, use the word purified. Purified. That's a good one. You know, because that water from the Grail cup, you know, purified the guy at the end, Sean Connery. Anyways, I enjoyed doing the artwork for the board there. I did it so big that I barely had enough room to put all the feminist stuff in there. But again, what do you guys think? Do movies teach us good lessons about MGTOW and about feminism, about women and how dangerous they are, how they use sex in their bodies and tricks and guilt, and how they stand on the shoulders of great men and piss down their necks? You know, all great questions. What do you guys think? Leave your comments, and thank you for everything. Semper Fi, I have the penis.